Yo, what's going on, everybody? Get a little
What's
set up here.
Wednesday winning.
Wednesday is for winning.
You can tell we're all still in work attire, so we're just rushing here on a winning Wednesday to get started with our topic for the week. So, real quick, welcome, gentlemen. How's your day? What's up, man?
What is today?
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Good. Hump day. Got over the hump. Getting through the hump. Breaking down humps. And just getting ready to go hump. You know what I'm saying, folks?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's why we're going live at 6 tonight and not 7. So that's the real reason.
Yeah. What's up?
Hey, man. Got to keep mama happy.
So tell us a win today, Casey.
Win.
Give us a win.
Jeez, man. Big win today. So, a lot of people are like, man, wait, you early better than anyone I know. You get up early. You're always up early. You're posting early. What the fuck are you doing up so early? So, some of y'all know that I broke my hand and my foot and my back last year in a crash in Patagonia, about 200 miles from Argentina or from Antarctica.
Yep.
So 14 months, very, very light exercise, just getting back into shape, getting working. Today I ran 1.5 miles.
Outstanding.
1.5 miles.
That's awesome.
All the way through, no stopping. Boom.
Man,
Boom.
That's a win on anybody.
Dude, so that's a win.
Yeah.
And I used to be 13 to 16 miles a week runner. I've missed the heck out of it, and I've just been pushing for the last 6-8 months to get ready.
I love that your win for today wasn't directly related to your business, but has a huge impact on your business.
Right.
Because in your mental mind, you've already won.
You don't take care of the machine.
Yeah.
Right. Like why is Doc always posting from, Get Fit or Die, his other Facebook page?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's like, you got to take care of this, right? This, make sure this ticker's around.
Well, that just boils down to my core values of God, health, and wealth.
Right.
Right? Clean conscience, clean heart, good money.
So give us a win today.
Oh, man. Today was insanely busy, as usual. So let's see. We closed 4 roofs today on the adjuster meeting.
Get so
that's huge. What else? Made some progress on the whippersnapper. You guys have no idea what that is, but trust me, it is huge progress on this damn Winnebago.
If you don't know what the whippersnapper is, let's just think Walter White give you a
Yeah. We've got a Jesse Pinkman special running in the back lot.
It's been behind closed doors for a reason. Because I don't want to have its grand debut until it's ready. Okay, so
until we kick all the Pinkman test
real talk. Okay, real talk. Funny story about it. So I'm in there ripping the carpet out, right, of this Winnebago. I bought this Winnebago. It's a piece of shit, but I love it because that's just who regardless. So I'm ripping the carpet out, open up the vent, the AC vent.
Yeah.
Guess what falls out?
Money.
Dog food. Mother dog food, bro. And I was like, maybe the dog food's in there to hide the scent of money. That wasn't the case. There was just straight up dog food in there. So that was probably the highlight of my day.
Maybe the dog food. Maybe the dog liked the food chill.
All you gotta say is it's a Winnebago, bro.
It's a Winnebago.
You're gonna find anything, man.
It's crazy. I love it. It's fun. My wife hates it, but she'll end up loving it.
Yeah,
One day.
Man, my win today is I went through quarter one. We always talk about thinking ahead in this group. So to me, quarter one's dead. It's behind me already because we're already looking
looking forward.
So I went through my Q1 and I'm up about 50% from where I was Q1 last year, which is probably a direct reflection of taking the chance and having the faith to actually hire an employee to double myself. So if you're out there and you're talking about, I'm a solo entrepreneur, I need help, I need to double myself. It's scary as hell. But I'm telling you, take the leap of faith, talk to your circle, confide in your alliance, because that is what you need to do to duplicate and multiply your business. These guys helped me along through the process. If you need help from us to talk through it, if you're watching, you share this video, let us know. But I can tell you right now that risk and that payoff is taking place now. And not only is it increasing my business revenue, but I'm also able to share that with my employee. And what do you think that does for him? That gives him some pride and ownership because now he says, hey, by you bringing me on, the business is more successful. Absolutely. So that's my win, man.
Affirmation for him is huge.
Yeah, big time.
Any employee, a lot of times, I know this, most people don't stick around as an employee because of the money.
Yeah.
They stick there because of the work environment. They
Yeah.
stick around because the leaders there give them the capacity to grow and have some sort of ownership in their own right.
Totally. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you send them out, you're like, hey, go check on this job. This is your job, start to finish, turnkey.
Yep.
That's empowerment. When you empower your employees, your staff, your coworkers, I never tell people you work for me. I always tell them you work with me.
Yeah,
absolutely. I don't need nobody working for me. I need you to work with me so that we can grow, so that we can close deals. Because that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about my fucking favorite topic out there, and that is closing deals.
What is it?
Closing deals.
That's right. Why do we love closing so much?
Because it puts money in my pocket.
Well, here's the deal. The month of March has all been about closing. We've talked about the horizon and looking forward. We've talked about game plan. We talked about a number of things for the last week. We're on week 4 of talking about closing. So this is Doc's favorite thing because he's a closer. Casey's a closer. I'm a closer. We're all closers, no matter what business you're in and no matter what you're selling. We're all selling something, and you have to be a closer.
Oh.
And here's the number one thing. You got to love what you're selling. If you're selling some shit that you don't like and you don't believe in, skip on down the road and move on to something else because people will see right through it. So here's 2 things we're going to do tonight. We're going to talk about primary goals and the steps to closing a sale. And then we're going to give you 4 different types of sales strategies. We're going to try to make it through this whole thing. Again, Patriot Business Alliance TX@gmail.com. If you want our notes, we're handing them out. We're doing this so we can help you guys out. So without that being said, why don't we go ahead and get started with, let's talk about the 6 steps that we have kind of in the sales process and just kind of go through those one by one. And I'll start it off with do the research, right?
Yeah.
Do the research. And we're not talking about on the client. We want to talk and hear from Casey on do the research and knowing your own products.
Oh,
that's hard. That's hard. It's so critical. And it took me some time to figure that out because, you know, I had a job doing outside sales for a heavy truck shop when I was in college, and then nothing for years that really involved the meeting of customers and convincing them to do business with my business. And then the training I got about how to sell services, which are, it's like, this is a product. You can describe the bottle is bullet shaped. It's got a yellow cap.
Yeah.
It's got a lock seal. It's got the little feet on the bottom so it doesn't wobble. You know, you can describe a product. You can become a master of a product. But a product has a lot of different, right? We just described 5 or 6 things.
It's got tangible features.
Right. But you've got to know about, and then what is that the only product you got, man? Casey, the only thing you got is this bullet shaped yellow capped water bottle. What other water holding products do you have? Pitchers? Do you have small 4-ounce bottles? Do you have this? Do you have that? You've got to know your product inside and out. And if you're selling the service, it's the same thing, right? You really must become a master of what you're doing and selling, right? And whether that is a service, which is an intangible, or it is a product, which is tangible, you got to know it inside and out, because if you don't, I mean, here's the danger. You know, you guys know, because I've said it throughout this sales process. And look, man, if you don't think that March is about selling, why the hell do we call it March Madness? Why are these basketball teams advancing? What are they doing? They're selling we're better. We deserve that number 2 seed.
Yeah.
We deserve that Cinderella seed. We're number 47 and we're going to be in the final, whatever. It doesn't matter. You're right. It's all about, first place you got to sell is right up here. Do you believe in your damn self?
Yeah.
One of the ways to get that belief in your bullet-shaped water bottle or your product, right, is to know it better than anyone.
Let me add to that real quick, because from a guy who sells tangible items for a living, like obviously my service is the most important asset that I have as a business.
Yeah, so you're a hybrid, right? You got service and product.
But here's the deal. If you're a tangible item like myself and Doc, we sell something we can give to somebody. It always helps you to invest in that product. I've put a boatload of money into my showroom so I can test out the features and become knowledgeable, so I can sit with Doc and talk to him about his new custom home. And when he asks me these questions, I can tell him, you know why? Because this. And how I know that is because I'm investing in myself. So knowing your product is not only the educational portion of it, but it's also the investment, in my opinion.
Yeah, if you're selling a product and you're not using it your damn self,
Why does anybody buy it?
like, why are you selling it?
Yeah.
If you're not passionate about what you're presenting to your client, then you're in the wrong game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If you're selling cars at Kia and you're not driving a Kia, then you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So on point. So on point. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I'm going to jump in on that when you're done.
Well, come on in.
Well, look, man.
Come
Look,
on in.
you know, I'm a student of a lot of sales gurus, teachers, motivators, whatever. Grant Cardone, Gary Vaynerchuk, Zig Ziglar, one of my all-time faves. My dad's all-time fave.
George Washington.
Right, George Washington. That's because Grant wasn't in Dad's space when Dad was selling, right?
Yeah.
But here's the deal, man. You go to places where they are professional, exquisite, right? Have done their research. Places like Sewell, like the whole Sewell family of dealerships. Everybody who works at Sewell drives a Sewell. It doesn't have to be a Lexus, a Cadillac, a Porsche, a Benz, but they drive a Sewell automobile.
You got to invest in your own product.
Right, because they know that their sales force can't say, look, I'm going to move the needle on this water bottle because I got one at home.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, and if you're not going to invest in your own AV, right? You're like, no, you know, man, I bought all my stuff at Walmart. But here, you buy this gold-plated package I got over here for $15,997. Yours today installed, right? But you've got Walmart hanging on the wall at home. But there's nothing wrong with Walmart. Don't get me wrong.
Not bullshit. In the AV industry, there's everything wrong with Walmart. If you're going there and you're not calling me, you're wrong. That's all I'm saying. So here's the do the research part. The thing we want to get across to you is it's not only a mental research of knowing the specifics, but it's also the physical investment in the system or whatever you're selling. So here's the end goal. When you know your product, you know the solution.
That's right.
And what are we trying to do? We're not selling the boxes because every business has 3 or 4 competitors in that local area. You're selling the solution. You're selling the solution. And that's what we're trying to hit across right now. So
you don't have a competitor.
But me.
You don't have but you.
I'm my own.
We got to qualify that because that's part of that doing your research, man. You got to believe in you up here.
Absolutely.
Right? And if you're not doing that research and you're not hard enough and you're not strong enough here, right, then you're going to fade, right? They're going to start throwing that resistance. Oh, man, I got to think about it. Man, I got to talk to the wife. I got to do this, got to do that. You know, I got to look at my budget. You know, god dang well, first thing they did when they woke up, boop, boop, boop. What's up with Wells Fargo, Independent Bank, Chase Bank?
Stocks.
What's my stocks do? You know, I mean, it's like it's all right there. You know, they know their budget because they come into they've done their research too, right? That's the other thing we got to
about to hit on that.
You know, thank you Google because we're all in a COVID, post-COVID, post-pajama zombie apocalypse world, right? You know, the people had nothing else to do but get educated on the interwebs about the roofing industry, the 5-star review, the Better Business Bureau, the AV industry, whatever product or service, the dadgum yellow bottle, bullet-shaped yellow bottle industry. Like maybe you need marketing materials. You're thinking about
bougie ass water.
Bougie ass water, right? Anyhow, the point is that they are 30 to 40 or more % educated about the product or service by the time you're picking up the phone, knocking on the door.
That's a perfect segue, Doc. So talk about the next step in the process, which is setting the expectations. If John Smith calls you, they already know 50% of what they think they know. Tell us about setting the expectations.
So
it's a critical step.
I just informed them exactly what the expectation is. I'll give you a prime example today.
Okay.
Lady shoots me a text. Hey, come out. I want an estimate on my home.
Yeah.
For a roof. And I candidly told her, man, I don't provide you an estimate. I don't provide estimates. What I do is I work hand in hand with your insurance company. Now, if they counter with, oh, I'm not going through insurance, and I'm like, great, I'm $400 a square. Mm-hmm. And then I'll give them an estimate right on the spot. And I say, these are what is going to happen during the roofing process. So I tell them every step phase that's going to happen so that they expect that when the roof gets installed.
So when you set the expectations up front, in my experience from project manager's background, is that setting that expectation up front it's a difficult conversation sometimes.
It is.
But at the end of the day, we're all on the same page. So
Yeah.
when you set the expectations, I want to hear from you on having that tough conversation about timeline, about budget, because these are this is what we're getting at here. The elephant in the room is always the budget.
Mhm.
I don't care what you sell, it's always the budget, right? So tell us about the tough discussions when it comes to setting expectations.
Well, I like how this is right up front, right? And you know, it's going to sound like a broken record, but you know, if we're going to cite to sources, you know, that gives everybody a lift. I learned the hard way that if you're not setting expectations, and by that, you're not talking about what they're going to have to invest with you. You're not talking about the money, right? You save the money part till the end. You know, hey, let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about all the features. It's like going and buying a car, right? And then why do people hate the used car or the new car sales process? Because it's all this dickering, and then they finally get around to the end that we're going to talk about the price. So not a lot, but many businesses are starting to put that at the front, and they're doing that because it revolutionized sales. It's something that they learned from people like Grant Cardone. I think he was the pioneer in that. And CarMax actually took that. We're going to talk about price right up front. It's non-negotiable. Yeah. It's fair or below market value. It's on the sticker. You know, you like the car, you buy the car. You know, and that's the thing. CarMax does a great job of taking that expectation setting. You know, like you walk in the door.
You know right away.
Right, boom, that car. You like that Ford F-150? You like that Escort Golf hatchback, whatever it is, you know?
It's $10,000.
Yeah.
That's
it's
boom.
$10,000.
It's $10,000. What can you do on it? Nothing. Right, nothing. So let's talk about the other things we can do in the sale to increase. But you have set the expectation immediately about what that initial investment's going to be, and then you can start. Two things are critical there, right? You have qualified your buyer. Do they have, and I don't want to jump to the next topic, but do they have the financial, because there's always going to be somebody who's, no matter how hard you work, and if they're just a looky-loo, that really has more to do with what's going on up here with them than it does. It's not like Salesforce out there. And look, I know a lot of people resist the sale. Like, I don't need to know how to sell this, that, and the other, but I'm telling you, that's bull. That's right? Because you're just learning in the school of hard knocks, and that's the most. If you're practicing on your customer, that's the most expensive training you can get. The SEALs train in before every mission. The military trains before every mission. In search and rescue, we do ready for ops every year at the end of every season. Whatever goddamn rescue vehicle we got to have for the next season, we pull it out of the boat barn. We run the hell out of it. We do drills. We cut through the ice. We do whatever it takes to be ready. So it's muscle memory. Yeah. It's muscle memory when you're in the sales. But the first thing you got to do, set that expectation. Think CarMax. You walk into CarMax, you want a Porsche, you want a Raptor, you want just a dadgum F-250 that can pull your meth lab, whatever it is, right? I'm just kidding.
Dude, my meth lab pools, mate.
But it drives itself.
It's different. I'm smarter than
So anyway, Jesse Pinkman walks into CarMax and he knows that he's got to trade in his Monte Carlo for the red Toyota station wagon. He knows what that stay wagon is going to cost. It's the cracked out car that we're going to give you $500 for that junker, and then we'll give you that's a $1,200 deal on this red station wagon.
And setting the expectations is not always just on the client side too. We're setting them for ourselves.
What we wear, what we show up with, the information that we bring, because that's where the expectation lies.
Absolutely.
Right. Mm-hmm. So my man said it here, Cody Townsend, pre-qualify your client. Yes. Right? Because I have an expectation from my client.
Absolutely.
Don't call me out there asking me for this, that, and the other, and you're balling on a budget.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want a damn new product or don't you?
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm coming in and I'm going to add value. So a lot of times what I do when I'm setting the expectation, I show them where their money's going.
Mm-hmm.
Step by step by step. You have a crummy 3-tab shingle, right? Or I can talk about my drug testing company. You have a company that doesn't answer their phone at 2 a.m.
Oh man, this is
Right?
so-
I open up. I'm 24/7.
Yeah.
My clients expect me to answer the phone call 24/7 to ensure that their business is operational with that drug testing company.
I love this.
So I've set that expectation,
Yeah.
and people have set that expectation for me.
So, hey, Justin, thanks for joining us, man, because you just hit us with a gold nugget right here. Create the value before you show the price.
Yo, that's exactly what I did today with that homeowner.
Hey, we're going to get back to that one because that's actually in right here. So you nailed it on the head there. So, look, let's recap real quick. Do your research, know your product, know your shit. Number 2, set the expectations, and that's on both sides of the street. Keep my side of the street clean. The rest of the stuff's going to work itself out.
That's right.
Number 3, you hit it, Justin, right here. Let's talk about pitching the solution, not the product.
Right.
This is exactly what Justin just mentioned right here. So, bam, solid advice right there. Everybody has a product. The water bottle, the computer, the USB mic, the laptops, the AV world, the roofing world, whatever. You need to ask yourself, and this is what I asked myself when I started my business, what separates me, and what I'm going to bring to the table from my competition in the area? So let's talk a little bit about pitching the solution and not the product.
Well, before we can ever pitch a solution, we need to understand the problem.
Yeah.
Right? The
Just
problem is,
going to hit on that.
the problem is I got DWI. The problem is a hailstorm hit my roof. The problem is I can't hear shit when I turn my radio on.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So now that we understand the problem, now we provide that solution.
Would it be safe to say in your industries, and you guys comment on this as well because every industry is different, do you think that a client really gives two shits about that tangible item that's going to make something work in their home?
In a way, they do.
Okay, industry standard, industry specific,
in a way,
right?
Otherwise, you wouldn't be calling me.
Now we'll take the car. We'll take vehicles out because everybody cares about that. We're not talking. We're talking about a little black box that sits over here in this corner that makes something else work in the house. Do you think they care about that tangible item, or do you think that what you're selling them and the value of that tangible item is more important?
That's right.
Right. That's what I want to hit on.
So, and you're 1,000% right with that item. The product doesn't matter. Well, let me take that back.
It's a sticky slope.
The product matters.
It does matter.
Because especially in an environment that we live in, North Texas, we are a storm-ridden area.
Yeah.
Right? It's fair to say. And so if I'm going out there and I'm pitching commercial-grade product that I know in 3 years you're going to have to get a new one, I'm not doing a service for my client.
Mm-hmm.
So I pitch them with value. I'm going to upgrade you. I'm going to do this so that you ain't got to jack with your roof again for another 10 to 15 years based on storms, right? Same with the drug testing. They don't give a shit about what cup I use. They care about if I call you at 2 o'clock in the morning, are you going to answer the phone? Because my knucklehead just got into a car wreck in an 18-wheeler.
Yeah.
Right. So it's important that we understand the problem first in order to provide the solution. And 90% of the sales doesn't matter about the product you give anyway.
No, it doesn't.
It's about the person. You're selling yourself.
Yeah.
Every single time. People buy you and not the product.
So we got two guys here that sell tangible products. Give us your take from someone who basically
they have to buy you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
well, and it's difficult because, when's the last time you bought something that cost $80,000? Right. I mean,
ask this guy probably yesterday.
But the thing about it is when people have to contemplate that kind of people have to contemplate that, they're like, whoa. But there's some reasons for that situation, and you've got to talk. We got to comment on here about pre-qualification. That's one way to make sure you're pre-qualifying. But the other thing is that you got to help them think about a couple of things. One, what is the end game, right? What is the reason they're talking to you in the first? Jeff's got an absolutely on point analogy when he's pointing at a little box on the wall. They don't care about the box. They don't care if it's made by Black Level, by Doc's Roofing, by Ashmore and Ashmore, by Eero Wireless Services, by Cisco. They don't care, right? What they want to know is that they're making an investment, no matter how little or expensive, that is going to solve the overall problem. And that goes to exactly what Doc was talking about, is you better be dang sure, be absolutely sure that you have done all the fact finding, because the last thing you want to do is you want to, look, I put this black box on here and I solved this problem, which is what I thought you wanted. And then you find out, oh, wait a doggone minute. You've got an entirely different motivation for trying to engage my legal services or buy this roof or whatever, right? Because if you don't know the solution, you can't paint the picture or accurately tell them what they're going to have to continue to invest over the time period that you're servicing that client.
Yeah.
Right. You're just completely, you're adrift, right? You're off course. Mm-hmm. You're adrift. You're lost. You got to get your compass back out, get the azimuth of the sun, all the stuff, right? You are lost and you have not served the client. You might be standing to have to refund some of whatever that initial investment is to fix what was the actual motivation. So make sure you're doing all the fact finding you can, right? To get what is the solution? Why are you calling me? What is the why? Right. And there's a lot of different ways to paint that picture, but that you got to isolate the why. Why are you calling me? What is the overall solution?
So remember, guys, everybody sells something, whether it's a tangible item or a service or a sale. Just remember, don't pitch the product, pitch the value, pitch yourself, gain the trust, establish the rapport with the client. Those type of things is going to take you to the long game. So the next thing we have for you guys, and we're not going to crash into this wall too hard here on handling objections, but we need to all learn. Go back last week. We did a whole hour segment on objections. Need to talk to the wife, needed this, okay, whatever. Go back and listen to that. But
we can do it all again.
But the point I want to make here is,
love it.
You must address that objection. You can't just gloss over that. You have to listen and then go back to them and say, okay, I understand you have this issue or this problem, and then address that issue. If you don't address the issue, and I've done this personally in my business, I didn't address the issue and I lost the client. Mm-hmm. And that's just being straight up honest. Lesson learned, right? So hit the wall, you got the objection, and move forward with it and find a solution.
And this comes back to when you get some sort of objection, defense, whatever, back to identifying the solution, really doing the fact finding. The hell did you call me for? What do you really need?
Yeah.
Do you really need what you think you pitched to me? I know you did a Google search on your DWI 6, right? And you think you're going to get probation on that.
Not happening.
Right. But the solution you need is to minimize whatever the consequences of whatever criminal conduct that the state may say you're right. Because you're saying, hey, I didn't do that, but I might have done this, right? And the point of that is that fact finding that Doc was talking about, that Jeff was talking about. Is it the little box on the wall, or do I need to fact find as to what this box does in your overall AV world, or what component of a better quality roofing system you need? Ridge vents,
what education makes you a better lawyer?
Yeah.
It's a non-tangible thing as well.
And I'm from the street. That's what.
Yeah. I know.
That's
you're
what.
gangster.
You're right. Street fighter.
Hey,
Street fighter. But again, not to skip over handling objections, because these two are tied together, right? Mm-hmm. If you understand the purpose of the sale, right? You've done the fact finding, and you know that you have identified the solution for the product. That in turn helps you do some fact finding when you start getting those objections. So that's what we were talking about last week, right? When they're like, oh, I got to do this, or I need there's another decision. I got to talk to my business partner, man. Me and Skinner and Ashmore are like, we're all on the same page, so we don't invest in nothing unless Huey, Dewey, and Louie are all in the same room, and we ink the sign contract on the dotted line at the same time, and we got to have double endorsement on all our company checks and blah, blah, blah. Whatever that is, do the fact finding. Just keep and make sure. Jeff, hit this. Get an answer to your question. Don't try to handle and then move on and continue in the sales cycle, because that becomes an unanswered deal. You don't have the information to proceed, and they're not even thinking about getting Huey, Dewey, and Louie and double endorsing a check and, contracting with Black Level, right? They're not. That guy's not even there, or that lady's not even there because you didn't listen and fact find and solve the problem.
Exactly.
I'll tell you what, Jeff. Before we get past this, you hit the nail on the head when you said, and I get this all the time. This not only works in sales, but it works in marriage. It works in raising your kids. It works across the board.
I hit it with
right. Always repeat back what they say. So what I heard you say was, you ain't got no money.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I heard you say.
Yeah.
Great. Now that you don't have any money, I have an opportunity that offers financing. Would you consider being financed for this project that you love so much?
That's solid. Dude. That's solid.
Right? You say, so anytime an objection comes out, if you repeat back the objection, so what I hear you saying is you're not available on Tuesday. So that means you're available on Wednesday. What time?
That means you're listening to
That's right. Client. You're actively listening to what you're in. Mm-hmm. And when you're actively listening to your client, your rebuttals become seamless. Boom.
Yeah, because you're not like over here in space case land and then making something up.
So when I hear you say you like to ride ATVs, fuck yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And then you just go on, and you're able to close the deal faster and smoother, and they don't even know they got closed.
So here's the question to you then. Not really a question. So we've done our research, we've set our expectations, we've pitched the solution, not the product. We've handled that objection by listening and solving the problem. I'm going to give this one all to you. The next step is to ask for the damn sale.
That's it.
Hit it with us because this is all you. Because when I wrote this tonight, I said, this is Doc's point.
So when I ask for the sale, it's fairly simple. I try to get the homeowner or the client or whoever to tell me yes at least 5 times, right?
Wait, say that again.
I try to get the client to tell me yes at least 5 times.
Now, is that all in the same stage?
No.
Okay.
Just over the course of our conversation.
Okay.
During the course of the entire interview process, because it's an interview. Like when you go into a client, you're pitching it's an interview. They're interviewing you. You're interviewing them. And I say, hey, man, do you like X, Y, Z? Yeah. Cool, man. I love it, too.
Ding.
What's your favorite? You know what I mean? Hey, if we could do this right now, would this make you happy? Yeah, it would. Boom. That's 2. So anyway, man, you're in the Marine Corps. Did you like being in the Marine Corps? Yeah, cool. Fuck yeah, me too.
So you're really not identifying a specific
I'm never talking about the product.
You're training the mentality of the yes.
I am trying to subconsciously get my client to agree with me. Right?
That's a shot right there.
I am trying to subconsciously present yeses into my client's mindset. I am trying to sway their mindset. Right? And when you do that effectively, and you say, hey, Mr. Homeowner, so the cost to do this is about $14K. Can I get you to sign here today? And don't worry about it. We'll just get you signed. We'll get you in the books, and we'll move forward from there. I don't want any of your money right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not asking for your money. I'm asking for your commitment that you will utilize my company for the services.
Yeah.
You have 72 hours, and you can, within 72 hours, you don't like it. Fine, call me. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But right now, if you can just sign it, what this contract is also going to do for you, it's going to prevent other people pitching you on bullshit.
Yeah, that's the key right there. Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
What else this contract does for you is it eliminates other tire kickers. Are you tired of people knocking on your door?
Mm-hmm.
Boom, got them under the yes.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? The more yeses we can get them to have during the conversation, the easier it becomes. Hey, man. You know what? I don't even have a pen. We're going to do this electronically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, you ain't got a pen? No big deal. I'm an electronic signature. You like those?
This brings up something that Casey's brought up in the past to me, and I'm going to try to paraphrase it, but I love that idea. And I knew you had some gold when I wrote this tonight, and I said, this is the one. But you mentioned don't train on your clients because that's the most expensive.
Could you imagine going into combat? Right? These combat veterans, these guys are fucking heroes, right? Could you imagine training to go, like your training in Afghanistan is, here's a automatic weapon.
And an MRE.
And some crayons, a bottle of water to Motrin. Don't get shot.
Don't forget your socks.
Aaron's back here in a helicopter if you get fucked up.
Yeah.
Right? Change your socks every couple of days so you don't get the gangrene.
Yep.
Bye, boys. Let us know how it goes.
Hey, real talk, that shit happened.
I'm sure it did, but the point is, it's like but y'all went to a basic training. You did some desert operations.
We didn't train in war. We trained before, and that's the point.
That's the thing, right? And so the school of hard knocks. Yes, there's always a situation where you've just got to go.
So, but here's what I want to know, because you talk about this often and a lot, and you bring it to us too. And you've kind of got us starting to think in that mindset. Tell the viewers, okay, if you're not going to train on my client, how are you training on your closing sales pitch? You're asking for the sale. How are you training?
The judge.
Man. So
I don't think anybody closes a judge.
Oh yeah, no, it's all persuasive.
It's either the defendant or the plaintiff.
Perfect. What I'm asking. So tell us how we can train.
All right. So this was a long 4 or 5 year process for me. So I will tell you that
you got to make that in about 40 seconds.
Yeah. So back when Moses came down off of Sinai and we had these tablets.
Oh shit! Here we go.
So no, seriously, I started working on this. I was like, I got to get better at this. I know I'm losing customers because I'm spending, probably like all of you, right? You are spending hours and hours and thousands of minutes taking time away from your family marketing, right? Like you've got bullet-shaped yellow cap bottles for sale. You got to get it to market. How do you do that? By getting some attention. So you're pumping time into marketing, right? And for me, that's a huge investment, just like it is for you guys. How do you capitalize on that? Well, you got to get your at-bats up. You do that. You get your at-bats up by marketing a lot and then closing a lot, right? And then
but how are you practicing on that close?
So you get at bat.
Well, you get an at bat by marketing, but then you close, right? So my closing ratio and overall my firm's closing ratio was like 30%, 33%, which is great in Major League Baseball. It sucks in business. So I mean, if you're closing at 30%, you got to fix your shit. Mm-hmm. So I started by studying Zig Ziglar's Secrets of the Close. Then I read Grant Cardone's Closer's Survival Guide. I listened to Mike Brannigan. Mike Brannigan's a fan of hardcore closer. I fucking drilled on his thing. But I think the most effective thing I ever started doing was drill, practice, rehearse, just like you would in the military with your entire close, start to finish. Record yourself. Record, get your dadgum iPad out. Stop looking for funny memes on Instagram and turn it into what it is designed for, a tool for business. Record yourself and then go back and listen to it all with an ear for anywhere you could be better, anywhere you failed to get more information, right? We were talking about didn't get an answer to that defensive objection, didn't do more fact finding about what their actual problem was. So you critique yourself. Film yourself doing it just like you would anything else.
And that's the point I was trying to draw from you, because last week we spoke about practicing on objections. If client says A, we say B. And we're not saying come up with canned responses, but that's what I was kind of wanting to get out of you.
Yeah.
Get in front of a camera, talk to yourself, have your son, your wife, your uncle, your cousin, your alliance, your friends, your business partners, whatever it may be, and practice the conversation. Because he put me on the spot last week and said, sell me this shit. And I'm the worst at that. And I said, you want this pen? He said, nope, I don't like red. I said, peace, I'm out.
I closed his ass on an ATV on a text message.
But I ain't got it. So he's still working on it. But here, the bottom line, so what we're trying to pinpoint, because I want to get to these types of...
Let me mention one thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
On what I do inside our company. Before I send anybody out in the street, they have to close me.
Yeah.
They have to sell me.
That's the initial process.
Like I'll sit right here in this room and I'll tell them to knock on that door.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, are you fucking kidding me? I said, no, I'm not kidding you.
Yeah. Get out.
Get out, knock on my door, sell me a roof.
Yeah.
Sell me anything. I don't care what you sell me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give you objection. And if you can get through my objections, then you're ready.
That's a tough process. I can tell you right now.
Yeah. So that role playing that's a big part
of it. And then I'll put Aaron in. I said, great, you got me. Now go talk to Aaron.
Yeah.
Right. And then I'll find somebody's in this office and one of my sales guys are here. I'll say, go close that guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? I'm like, yes, do it, because you have to be ready. What is your go? What is your motto? Always ready.
Always ready.
Always ready. I said, you better talk to 100 people a week.
Yeah.
That is my goal.
Yeah.
To talk to 100 people. I'm pitching 100 times a week. You know why?
Yeah.
Consistency.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing the work. I'm getting my at-bats.
That's the thing. And again, lessons that I finally applied in business. Really, really thank you to the mentorship of Grant Cardone, because I was not doing, but in law school, right? We do the same thing in law school that we do in the military, right? You practice your closing argument in front of a retired judge who's your professor, right? You practice in front of your classmates. They all critique you. But I wasn't doing that in business when it came to selling. And I don't know why, because I learned that lesson twice. Once in the military, actually 3 times, right? Once in the military, once in doing outside sales and I'm going to tell you what, you want the salesman that somebody wants to see the least is somebody selling heavy diesel truck services.
My stepdad does that.
Okay, so hey man, what do you do?
He's a fucking closer, bro.
I mean, well, look, man, I'm going to service your whole FedEx fleet. We got pickup and delivery. I mean, we got the best tow trucks you've ever seen. We got a fleet of 4 tow trucks.
The whole gambit.
Blah blah blah. We got the most technology.
How
whatever.
much it costs? That's it every time.
And see now that I'm glad you did that, because this is exactly what we're talking about with the objections. Don't let that objection kill your game.
That's right.
And this is what we're talking about by practicing with your team. And because that one question, outside of this guy, I guarantee it's gonna freeze you up if you don't.
Because you're like, oh shit.
Because you don't expect it.
No,
you're like,
and I'm
whoa.
gonna stop anybody, right? How much? How much you gonna hit me? And I do it every time somebody calls me. How much?
Yeah.
How much you want? How much money do you want in my pocket?
Mhm.
Right? And if they're like X amount of dollars, and I'm like, no, too bad, because the response was wrong.
Yeah.
Because if I'm curious about my money, if you're like, how much? You're like, I'll tell them straight up, sir, don't even worry about the budget.
Yeah.
What you need to worry about is, are you going to be taken care of by a reputable company that you don't have to worry about?
Yeah.
There is no, that's priceless. You can't put a price tag on
You can't.
having a contractor that'll do what they say they're going to do and back up their work.
Not nowadays. You're not nowadays, because we
You-
know
and
the
same
whole.
with you.
Yeah.
You can't put a price tag on somebody setting your shit up right.
Mhm.
That's going to come back.
And-
you can't put a price tag on somebody that represents you keeping your ass out of jail.
It's that one shot, one kill mentality.
That's right.
If you have that one shot, one kill mentality with your business and with your sales process, you're gonna be that much more confident.
Yeah.
Like, I know for a fact, every job that I do is gonna have some hiccups, but I've already planned for those. But I guarantee my work is gonna be done one time and one time only.
So here's where Doc and Jeff are spot on, right? So I went back into a sales cycle for a job I had almost 25 years ago. And, that heavy truck shop. Mike Casal, love you, man. You gave me my shot, taught me about how to do cold call selling.
Yeah.
It was great to be able to use my skills and experience as a diesel mechanic and not have to fix diesel engines every day. But I love working for Casals, and I loved how much you encouraged me to keep going to law school and chasing my dreams. Thank you, Mike. But here's the deal. I haven't practiced that pitch in 25, 30 years, and he got me cold. And the reason why is because I didn't frickin' practice.
Yeah.
Right? Major League Baseball players. Why are the best ones so good? Major League anything.
Because they hit 10,000 balls in spring training.
Why is Jordan, who's a golfer, Jordan Spieth, he's like, whatever, right? Michael Jordan, right? How many free throws did he shoot a day?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's like 200 a day.
Well, that's what goes back to my point.
And that's what you got to do when it comes to sales. You
100
got to know
people.
You got to know what these problems are, because they're going to come up over and over and over.
Yeah.
Look, if you haven't identified the problems, you're going to, like, Jeff, is it really that little box on the wall, or is it this?
Yeah.
That's probably a problem that gets presented to Jeff at almost every sale, or enough sales that he knows it's one of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 objections, right? Including the money objection, which always, right? But the point is, you got to practice, right? Put your damn baseball glove on, start doing fundamentals. Catch a ground ball, catch a fly ball, right?
You just got to get after it. Just keep and do it. Doc said it best. Consistency is breeding credibility.
I tell you what, I freaking was in the drive-through line the other day.
Got another free McNugget or something?
No, man, I got a roof inspection.
Nice.
Right?
I'm telling you, selling always and often, man.
That's
So-
it, because if you're at the gas station, if you're at the drive-through, if you're at the freaking checkout, everybody needs what you have. They just don't know they need it yet.
So here's the deal. Let's cruise through these real quick. You've done your research. You know your product. You know your stuff.
Yep.
We set our expectations on
Right.
both sides of the table.
Yep.
We've pitched the solution, not the product. We've handled and secured the objectives by listening, intently listening. We've asked for the sale. Now the next step is just to arrange the steps. So we've gone through all of this. We're ready to close. We're inking the deal. Here's what we want to go through now. We're going to arrange these steps, and we're going to go through a few techniques, I like to call these, different types of closes that we're going to use. So when you're arranging the steps, this is you're putting the project together, right? Okay, we're going to get started on this day, this day. So here's one technique that I can tell you guys. This one is called the Assumptive Close. And I'm just going to tell you what this means real quick. This technique involves using a phrase or language that assume the close is done.
Done.
That's right.
You put it out in the universe.
An example of this is, great. What day do you want to start? That's an assumptive close because now you're assuming that they're going to close and now they're in a position, and we're not saying make it uncomfortable and be all weird about it and shit, but you're assuming that that client now is already made in your mind, hey, we're going with Doc's Roofing. The next question is, when do you want to start? So have you guys used it? Does it work?
All day, every day. I do.
This is the king of it, right?
I do it all the time. I was at a homeowner today. They were like, oh, well, I asked them, I said, do you have another roofer coming to talk to you? And they're like, yeah, at 1 o'clock. I said, look, all due respect, don't waste their time.
Yeah.
And they looked at me. They're like, what? Like, don't waste that guy's time. You already know what I'm providing to you, and you already know that I'm going to do a great job for you.
Yeah.
Like, why would you waste another company's time? Obviously, you don't have the time to waste. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's just go ahead and get this done, and let's put your roof on next week.
Yeah.
How does that sound?
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of going back to asking, we already asked for the sale, so we're already past all of this. So
Right.
The assumptive close.
We'll put it on next week.
So does this apply to you in your business? The assumptive close, which is, and I'll give you the example again. What day do you want to start your project?
This is one. I use a little bit different technique because what I do is I go through this pre-qualification, right?
Well, is that technique on one of these? Because we want to cover these real quick.
No. And then what I tell them is, one thing that I do is I start talking less about our team, my company, my business, and I start talking about the we. I start building the team that includes the customer because I think it's critical.
Yeah, you hit it.
It's critical, right? You start establishing the we are part of your team, Doc Rannigan, right? We are going to solve this legal problem for you, and we are going to start working on this together at the end of this call. So what I'm going to ask your permission to do is, because a lot of stuff, we're all starting to get back into the real world, but there's still a lot of people who are like, whoa, COVID, I could just do it all on the internet. That's fine. Because you can make more, right, with this. You can make more contacts with that phone than you can with just the hours you're physically in a building or you're in a building where your customer is. You can do more. You can multiply yourself with this and this, right, in a way you cannot with it's just you knocking on the door. So I start thinking in terms of the we, right? This is what we are going to do. And at the end of this telephone conversations, at the end of this meeting, I'm going to ask your permission to go ahead and send you that contract. You're going to have bing, bing, bang, and boom. And that's it.
I would consider that an assumptive close.
Yes, because you hit all the points.
Yeah.
You establish trust with your customer. You give them the approach to sell it. And if you're unsure because you're getting that pre-qual that you're doing.
Yep.
And then they're obviously in a hurry to make a decision because trial's right around the corner. Because somebody's about to make a decision for your ass one way or the other.
Right.
So if you're using that assumptive close as a part of your technique, just realize that what you nailed on the head is that you're bringing them into the family already. You're assuming they've already in their mind said, hey, we're going with this company. And I like your rebuttal. Hey, don't even waste their time because you already know we're going to do this.
Right.
It's just a matter of, hey, getting it started. So here's the other one.
That can bite you in the ass, though.
Yeah, but here's the other one, too. So
cocky.
now you got this other thing, too, that's called an option close. And this is one of the things where it's like, okay, it's similar to the assumption close, but rather than asking for the process or the prospect business directly, you ask them what option they prefer. Okay, so I know we're going to get started. Do you want to do Wednesday or Friday? When should we get started? So you're giving them an option already thinking that they've closed. So let's talk a little bit real quickly about the option close.
So I do the option close with realtors.
Okay.
And that's because, and it's actually quite funny because they're actually an option period.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm dealing with realtors and they're trying to sell their home inspectors like your roof is shot, I go into the option close. Do you want to pay me now or do you want to pay me at closing?
Yeah.
Right? When do you want to unask your money?
Yep.
I'm going to give you your option. Right? You
Hold on, Mike. Let me just go ahead and do it.
Yeah, because it's coming.
Give me that pen. I can't wait.
Just let me know when you want to write that check. And that is an option close. It makes them feel better.
Yeah.
Right? Whenever you give an option to pay, and that's when you option finance. Right? Oh my gosh, it's $30,000 for this AV. Ooh, and you see the face. You're like, oh shit, that hurts. Right? You'll be like, look, I see that makes you uncomfortable. Here's an option. How about we go ahead and see if you qualify for finances?
Yeah.
It's an option close.
So I want to be clear on the option, though. We don't want to give numerous options.
Right.
We don't
you don't want to stretch the buying time out indefinitely.
You want to, and to put it, just in an example, you want to know, can we start Wednesday or can we start Friday? Because the moment, even as a consumer, sitting here in this seat, if someone gives me 4 or 5 options, like I'm a let's go and let's make it happen type guy. You guys all know this. The likelihood that client is now going to make a decision decreases dramatically.
That's right.
So you want to give them are we starting Wednesday or are we starting Friday? And that's it. Don't go crazy with this, because now you put yourself in a situation where you might have endangered this close.
Yeah. And it's really important in this industry, because if they have children, like young children, infants, toddlers, and they stay at home, I want to make sure that hey, are you working Wednesday? And are you have somebody to watch your kids? Because it's going to be super loud.
Well, you have to keep in mind their family.
Know what I mean? So there's always those different deals. But you're 100% right. When you give too many people options, you also give them the option to leave.
Absolutely. So here's another one here. So a suggestion close, a suggestive sale is what Doc and I were talking about before this. If you have a really good relationship, this is one of those ones where this isn't a cold relationship. This is more of, hey, we know each other. Yeah. Like, we're going to do business. We're actually doing business together on a professional level with his new home. So we have that relationship to where we can be candid. So a suggestion close is a good approach if you have that trust with that client. And the example I'm going to give you guys is, based on what you told me about your project, I suggest we get started on Monday. Does that work for you? Yeah. So you're suggesting already that we have the close and we're moving forward.
That's right.
What do you think?
Yeah. I think the option close and the suggestion close are great, and they got to be for the right
they're
situation.
Suitable for certain industries.
They're suitable for certain situations. Sometimes you're dealing with
case by case too.
Yeah, it's all customer by customer. Sometimes people are, you got an extremely decisive person who's struggling with being decisive because of factors going on in their life. They may really have a lot of anxiety about the decision they have to make. Like, man, I need it, but I don't want to. I have to do this. Yeah. I have to file this family law case. I've got to defend my company from this. I've got to hire somebody who's going to help defend me from this criminal charge or whatever it may be. And they are struggling with being decisive, which is unusual for them. Most people are not. High pressure close. I mean, that's like 99% of it. I mean, that's so little of the sales.
There's like 1% that's just
and those people, that's not an ethical way to sell, which is why so few of us. So giving these options, it can expand that sales cycle, which is not what you want to do, because usually, you've opted for making a decision to not make a decision, and that usually can backfire. Yeah. I had a neighbor in Houston who wanted to scrape his lot and take it. He had a car shop in an old Texaco building. It was built in the 1920s. He wanted to scrape the lot and build a new service station, state of the art.
Yeah.
He decided not to do it. He waited a year, and it cost him $200,000 more to do it the next same building. Yeah. 1 year later, he was like, that was the dumbest thing I ever did. It tanked my earnings. Yep. The money that I saved for the year staying in the crappy old Texaco building with hand jacks. Yeah. There was no hydraulic lifts, nothing. I mean,
you lost money.
He lost money, and it took like 4 or 5 years to get that back, right? Yeah. So anyway, but sometimes it's the right, given the option is the right situation. So that's a good one on the option close, but still ask, and with the anticipation that we are all on the same team, and we are going to service you. We're just going to do it on Monday. Sign right here.
So here's my favorite one, and then we're going to close this one out here with the last one. And this is my favorite one because it's almost to a situation where both parties have to make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, in the sales game, the decision is two-way, like you said. It's an interview on both parts. So the last one we're going to talk about tonight is going to be called the urgency close.
Mm-hmm.
And then if anybody knows anything about anything, you said it, like, I know I need to do this, and I know it's raining, and I got a hole in my roof. I need to do this. So now we're talking about creating a sense of urgency with putting a pressure on the client. And we're not talking about, like, breaking the arm behind their back, but giving them enough push to say, look, I'll give you an example. You called me 2 months too late. Your drywall's going in, and we got to pre-wire your house.
Mm-hmm.
You got to make a decision right now so I can put you in my pipeline. Don't forget, I'm a business owner with more than just one product and one client. So if you want to move forward, we have to create sense of urgency.
Yeah.
And I say it's my favorite because I'm a man of let's make a decision. Doesn't always work in my benefit, but hey, I'm just like, we're pushing forward. So this is something that you can think of this as like a limited time offer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's nothing wrong with being forthright and truthful with a client about exclusivity and ability to serve.
Yeah.
This isn't like call now, seats are going fast to the Led Zeppelin concert, which you can only win by lottery. That's different than what we're talking about. It's like, I've got a service pipeline. I've got a customer client pipeline, and that pipeline has to be staggered out to make sure I can
Service your clients.
exceed the expectations that I've set for myself and wow these customers, and let's get you in there. But the problem is with delay is that either puts you way down at this end, right? So you have to be forthright about that with them, because I'm hoping that all of you are in a place where, and even if you don't think you are, you're in a place where you need to be thinking about the exclusivity of what you offer and sell, what product and service, because doing every job that you bid or comes in the door can put you at a disadvantage, because you're going to you put yourself at a risk of doing a whole bunch of things good.
It's the difference between being busy and productive.
Or just above average, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's a little bit better. Hey, that guy was a little bit better than the other lawyer I invested money in. I mean, he was really nice and he always wore a vest, but if you couldn't get the X, Y, or Z, right? Could he move the needle in your case? And instead, it's like, hey, I know you need this level of attention. You got this big of a problem. Get in the pipeline now, because it's my ability to serve you the way you need to be served is going to be more difficult later, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't like, seats are selling out fast, right? Do you take your wife to the One Republic concert or not? Because if you don't buy the tickets on opening day, you're going to be in the nosebleeds at the hottest time of year at what do they call that stadium now? You know what I'm saying?
The urgency close, man. You pull this out, and you only should use this with good relationships. Look, I'll tell you one thing. You go meet Johnny Smith on day one, and they want to do a project with him. You tell them you got to sign right here, right now, and you do it the wrong way, you'll never hear from that person again. Right. So the urgency close is something where you've already established it, but don't be afraid to be candid. I had a boss tell me one time, first AV company I worked for in San Diego, not a lot of people like you, but everybody respects you. He said they respect your candor. He said that's one of the things you have to keep and never get rid of, because there's not enough people in this world that will shoot you straight.
Right.
So when you shoot your client straight, you're going to gain a level of respect. Is every client my client? Absolutely not. Is all money good money? Absolutely not.
No.
You have to understand the urgency is created. The urgency close is created to be put in place when you have to make a decision in a timely manner, or it's going to have an adverse effect on that customer's expectations and your pipeline, because your pipeline and your business can't suffer because of the failure to plan doesn't cause it to, what is it? How did I say that?
The 5 Ps.
Yeah.
Poor planning does not constitute a priority on my part.
Exactly. So we've gone through a lot tonight. We
just got started.
And
we just like
I get a lot of urgency.
We can do an encore. Can we get some lighters out there?
I get a lot of urgency closes in the drug testing industry.
Oh, I bet.
Because I'm not urgent to close you. Is the client urgent to need my services?
That's exactly right.
You know what I mean? Because I got business. I'm good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's what you have to let your client know. Look, I'm not out here looking for you. You're out here looking for me.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Which can be a double-edged sword because you don't want to be a dick. Right? Yeah. You're like, don't worry about it, man. I'll get to you when I get to you. But when somebody calls me at 2 o'clock in the morning with an 18-wheeler that's gotten to a wreck, they're willing to open up wallets.
Yeah.
And I tell them, I'm $150 an hour plus this, plus this, plus that. And I can leave right now. Do you want me to do this?
Yeah.
Decide. No? Cool. Have a great day.
And this goes back to what we talked about last week, which I said was kind of a character flaw with me, which is sometimes I get too into the I need a yes or no now. Right? Because I've always been taught from the sales mentors that I have, hey, we want to get a yes or no we want to get the yes or the no as fast as possible.
That's right.
So what we've done here tonight is just give you a little bit of some tools, some different techniques. If you guys want this information, we're more than happy to share it with you guys. Next week we close out sales, right? You got
I got one thing. So
yeah,
I got a great client named Zach Romans, and he watched our deal last week, man.
Yeah.
He was really impressed with it. And Zach is in sales, man. He's a guy, computer guy, brilliant dude. So I took some notes. He had some things to say, but one thing that I want to touch on, one, Zach, thanks for watching. Two, thanks for being a great client. Three, thanks for your commentary, right? Mindset about to close. Mindset about to close. $10 close on your bullet-shaped bottle of water, whatever.
You pay $10 for that?
Well, let's say I'm a vendor for this, and I'm gonna have Doc Ranigan bottled water.
Yeah.
10 pallets tomorrow.
Ooh,
I'll give you a sample pallet you can take home to your wife, and we can have it carbonated, non-carbonated. We can do all kinds of great, so we can add flavor, not add flavor. I'll give you a pallet sample, right? But that free sell, right, takes the same mindset as a $10 pallet of my bottled magical water, or $1 million, right? $1 million. You got to have put it in the universe right up here. It's all the same, man. So think about, like, do you think the distance between the free throw line and the goal in a basketball game is different from the high school level, from the college level to the NBA? It's the same distance, right? At the high school, right, with your buddy, grab assing you, right? Come on, Ashmore, right? And you sink that. But maybe you don't hit that one in college, right? And that prevents you from getting to but it's the same distance, right? So that what Zach's point was, and I'm not giving it all the job, a $10 close, a free close, a $10 close, $1 million close, it's all the same. It's all up here.
It is all up there.
Right?
You're absolutely right.
That's a great.
If you don't have, like I always tell people when they tell me no, I tell them thank you. And they're like, what? I'm like, I needed to get my nose out of the way for the day.
Yeah.
I said, but don't be mad. Because a lot of people will tell me yes, and you're going to be sad that you didn't go with me. So you have a great day, and I'll just circle back around to you in about an hour to let you think about why you told me that. You know what I mean? And they're left. One of my favorite words that I came up with is befuckled, right? like they just don't know.
What just happened?
Yeah. Did that guy just tell me that I was a dumbass for telling him no? I'm like, yeah, I did. Yeah. So I'm going to be back so I can clear this up for you. Yeah. And they love it. So I love sales. I love closing. I love talking about this. I can talk to it indefinitely. Yeah. A lot of people put on Facebook, if you could talk about anything in 1 hour and not have to prep for it, I believe I could talk about how to build great relationships and close deals.
I agree.
So,
and I'll tell you one thing, man, and that foundation starts with having a great alliance. It starts with having a great A-team. The Avengers, whatever you want to call it. We've done, boys, we've been doing this a long time.
We got a year this month.
Yeah, and I tell you what, there's been so much I've taken away from all of these sessions every week that we've done this, that's implemented in my business and in my personal life. That's helped me be a better man. And at the end of the day, my ultimate goal is to be a better man than I was yesterday.
That's it.
Right? So take what we're telling you. I'm happy to share this information with you. Share the video. If you like this information, you like what else knuckleheads being up here talking, share it with your friends, push it to the groups that you're in, because there could be one person, and all it takes is one person to hear one message from us, and it changes their world, and they go from a $500,000 business to $1 million business. We had about 10 of them last year in our alliance that went from under $1 million to over $1 million. And you know why? Because they got up, they got involved, they got the free throws in the morning, they closed their sales. and they stayed involved with learning and educating. That's all we're doing here, folks, and we're just sharing it with you. So appreciate everybody tuning in. We're gonna call it quits for the evening. We're gonna go home, get some chow, and whatever Doc said he's gonna do it the earlier, he can do his thing.
Yeah.
But tomorrow's $10,000 30. So get out.
10,000.
And fucking get some.
Get some.
Cool, yo.
Cool.
Hey, you're an Apple guru, and that's what I like about you.
Yeah.
He doesn't like to be called that because I'm like,